Here we go. Perfect. Right, welcome back guys to another video. What I've got for you today is, as you can see behind me, is a Honda Civic Type R EP3. Now this is a UK car, it's a pre-facelift car and it's fairly standard. Exhaust induction, I'll go through that with you in a minute or two. Yeah, just thought I'd get it up there because we've got a few Hondas on there already, the Civic, the EK9, the FD2, so we thought I'd get the EP3 on there as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like the content, share the video, like the video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. So here it is, the Honda Civic Type R EP3. As mentioned, it's a pre-facelift car, fairly standard sort of looking car, so there's not really a massive amount to discuss on the outside or even to show you on the outside, apart from a couple of little things. It's got a stainless steel exhaust. I think it's a HKS high power exhaust system, and it's got a Blitz induction kit. So yeah, it's a tidy it's a tidy car. It's 17, 18 years old. It's running Nankang tyres, so it adds to the whole ride quality. They're quite a firm tyre, and as you can see, it is a standard car. The EP3s were a massive hit. I think most petrol heads have actually driven an EP3, and you'll know what I'm talking about in this video. And it's difficult to get hold of an actual nice example at the moment. There's a lot of rusty sort of examples out there, a lot of cars that have just been abused and problems and stuff. VTEC is such an awesome thing on these cars. Honestly, it is wicked. And I've been a massive VTEC fan, as I've probably mentioned before and probably will mention again. And the EP3's very good car, and I'll explain a bit more on the drive and stuff. So yeah, the inside, again, this one comes with the standard Honda Type R logoed bucket seats, and the whole of, everything is inside the car is standard stereo as well. It's the aircon model, so you've got the aircon button there, because that was an optional extra on the EP3s. And what I'll do is I'll show you under the bonnet the famous K20 lump, and I'm sure that's a Blitz induction with a intake hose. Other than that, it's a massive amount. But what an engine this thing is. Honestly, these things produce 197 brake horsepower at the factory, but that lump there can actually take 400 to 500 horsepower on standard internals, and now that is an achievement. A lot of people do turbocharge or supercharge these cars purely for the fact that them engines can take a lot of power, and as standard, like I said, they're only running half the power, less than half the power that they can actually run. So they're a very good base if you want to get a bit more power out of a K-series engine. And the EP3 is like a perfect, ideal sort of base car. They're not overly expensive to buy. The whole conversion probably costs, £3,500. Unless you can do it yourself, then it's even cheaper. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll go for a little drive, and we'll go through a couple of little bits with the car. I'll show you a few little snippets of VTEC and stuff, and you'll understand what I mean. It's a nice example of an EP3. It's a very nice example, and the induction kit and the exhaust, the whole thing, actually you can hear the VTEC on it purely because of the exhaust and the induction. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, share the video, like the video, and help us grow. So here we are guys, in this EP3 Civic Type R. They need no introduction, to be fair, because there were so many of these Civics about many years ago. And bearing in mind, this car I've got here with me today is 17 going on to 18 years old nearly, and the EP3s have been about for a few years more than that. And to this day, still at this age, they are still a very good car to drive. Now, when they first actually came out, I had a couple of EK9s prior to them. These actually drive my first EP3, and for me it was more of a disappointment when I jumped into an EP3 from an EK9. The EK9s felt so good to drive, so focused, and jumped into an EP3, and I think it was just the whole sheer refinement factor that kind of like caught me off guard as such, and I wasn't overly impressed by them as a Type R. And like many other people, I don't think they actually, warranted a Type R badge. But the whole car itself, you cannot find many better cars that will give you this sort of fun, this sort of enjoyment, without the risk of having to actually getting engine problems. These K20 blocks are bulletproof, as they were known as. They could take a good beating. They could take, quite a lot of a pounding, shall we say, and they will still, drive perfectly fine. The only thing with them is you just got to make sure their oil levels are correct, oil levels are good, and just service them regularly, and they will give you a whole lot of enjoyment. And I mean, back onto EP3s, going into EP3s as a car, as a performance car, hot hatch, they are very, very good. They are a very good car. But as a Type R, I don't think they quite warranted the Type R badge. But when the FN2 come out, that was, again, a nice car, very nice car. It's a bit more refined than this, but I think they were just too refined to actually warrant that Type R badge. There's in no way am I slating these cars. They are a fantastic car, and I've owned, driven many EP3s and FN2s over the years, and you will still struggle to find something value for money. You'll struggle to find something better than them. Now, the drive on these cars is very good. Again, the gear stick is in an unusual spot. Well, it was when they first, came out onto the market. It was in a very unusual spot, because everybody was used to having the gear stick down here, but when they turned up on the dashboard, it was like, okay. But it suits the whole driving position very, very well. So onto the drive of this thing. The EP3 Civic Type Rs, as most of you are probably already aware, they drive actually very, very good. They are, the whole seating position's very good. This is a pre-facelift car. It's a UK car. So it's not got the Recaro seats or the anniversary red Recaros or nothing like that. It's just got the standard Type R bucket seats. The whole package with these things. The VTEC is fantastic. 197 brake horsepower. And I mean, I'll show you now, and you'll hear the VTEC on this thing. They drive so good. This car's done, over 70,000 miles, and it still pulls very nicely, very nicely. VTECs have just got this thing about them. I know a lot of people go on about how they're not, forced induction and turbocharged cars are better, they've got no torque. But with any VTEC sort of car, any Honda enthusiast will know these things are all about, you just have to drop a few gears. Drop a gear, drop 2 gears. This thing is a UK EP3, it revs to just a touch over 8,000 RPM. 8,000 RPM from a car from, 20 years ago nearly. It's such an achievement, and it's very good. And to this day, they still will do that. A lot of the forced induction EP3s and K-swap cars that are out there, like the EK9 that we videoed on this channel. So that was a fantastic car. Please do feel free to check that video out. It's on our YouTube channel. It's a yellow EK9 supercharged, great car. As with a lot of the K-swapped or charged K20s, they've got a lot of mileage on them, and now that is in itself, it just goes to show the true solidness of these engines, the reliability of these engines. They can safely cope with over 400 brake horsepower on the standard block. but you know, from the factory they're under 200. So you've got a massive margin there to actually do stuff with these cars and still have safe power and a safe engine to run. Here we go. Perfect. I understand they're not the fastest cars on the road, especially in this day and age. You can get diesels with more power, but it's just a whole enjoyment of driving a Civic Type R. I know I've said I don't think they deserve the Type R badge, but you could jump into a Civic VTI, any sort of a VTEC Honda, and they give you such a good sort of driving experience. These things are great. Honestly, they are very, very good. Very good, should I say. If you want a fast car, get yourself a turboed EP3, or get yourself another turbocharged car at the factory. But if you want something that's reliable, fun to drive, and you know it's not going to break down on you, get yourself a Honda Civic Type R EP3. Even casually just cruising around in these cars, they're good. You can use them as a day-to-day car, you know, as long as you can put up with the 3-door car, hatchback car. They're very good. They've got perfectly usable rear seats. I believe, they are 5-seaters. Can't remember if they're 5 or 4-seaters there for some reason. It's been such a long time since I drove an EP3. Honestly, this is the first time I've driven an EP3 in a good few years, and they still feel exactly like I'd remembered them. My first one I had was many years ago, a good 10-15 years ago, and it was a very good car. And to be fair, to this day, I think these things are still very good. What I will actually do is I will make and upload a brief sort of buyer's guide to an EP3 on our channel. So please do feel free to check that out. I've owned many EP3s over the years, and I've driven quite a lot of them. So I know a fair bit about them. I don't know everything about them, but I know a fair bit about them. So if I can help somebody, make up their mind about buying an EP3 or just what to look out for on one of these, then yes, I don't mind. I'm more than happy to help everybody. So do check the video out on the YouTube channel. And like I said, we've got plenty of other videos uploaded on our channel already. We've got, if you're into your Hondas, we've got a DC298 spec, as mentioned previously. We've got the EK9 charged, got an FD2. So please do feel free to check them out, amongst obviously a few other cars that we've got on there. So we've got a few videos uploaded. These, honestly, they drive very, very good. I know these cars, I know people who have taken these cars to way over 150 miles an hour. And for a 2-litre non-turbocharged car producing 197 brake horsepower, that is a very good achievement in my eyes. Very good achievement. Bearing in mind the technology is quite old as well now, but it still surprises a lot of people, and it can still surprise a lot of cars from now. Honda, their slogan was the power of dreams, and back in the days it was such a thing. Nowadays, obviously, you get a lot more power from 2-litre cars or 1.6s and stuff. Bearing in mind, the EK9 was the original Type R, and from a 1.6-litre non-turbocharged engine, it produced 185 brake horsepower. It was almost unheard of in them days, and they did such an epic job of making that. And the B16 was a perfect lump. So was the B18. The K series are a bit more refined, but they're still very good, very, very good. Now, if you're after something that's a little bit quieter than this EP3, then get yourself something that's actually got no stainless steel exhausts and no induction air intakes, induction kits, and as OEM as possible. And they are very, very quiet. You can barely hear the VTEC on them. You can feel it, but you can barely hear it. But if you want something that you can hear the VTEC roaring, and it is quite literally, it's like a day and night crossover on these VTECs. So if you want something like that, then I suggest get something that's actually got a open air filter, because that's the only thing that makes them sound louder, and obviously an exhaust also helps, a louder exhaust. Otherwise, it's just a very sort of a refined car. You don't get none of these, you know, whistles and blowing, nothing like that, purely because they're not turbocharged, so you won't hear no whooshing and stuff. But unless obviously you got yourself a charged one, then it's they are very, very good. There's VTEC. They are fun cars to drive. I don't care what anybody says about lacking power, lacking torque. They are so fun. These cars are very, very good fun to drive. As long as you got yourself a decent EP3 or any Type R or VTEC Honda car for that matter. They're so good fun. It's just when you drive another car and then you jump into one of these, you get that sort of you automatically think that you need to change gears sooner than you actually do in a Honda Type R. These rev to, like I said previously, this revs to over 8,000 RPM, and if you get yourselves a DC2 or the EK9s, or if you get yourselves a JDM variants of the EP3, and if you get a DC5, they can rev even higher, and they do rev even higher. And automatically now you're driving, you put your foot down and you think, I need to change gear. But then you think, oh no, actually I've still got another 2,000 RPM to go. And awesome. It's just wicked. My first ever Honda was a Civic EF, the flatback Civic VT. And I fell in love with that thing. Bear in mind, that was over 20 years ago. And I fell in love with it. And it was just, I was never used to it. I mean, I had a few of the like performance hot hatches, in them days, and Swift GTIs, Corolla GTI, twin cams. They were very, very hot cars in them days. But then I jumped into a Civic VT and it was like, wow, this thing is awesome. And since then, that is it. I've had a few of them, and driven many of them, and they still do not let you down. They're such an experience. They're a very, very good experience. And like I said, value for money, it's very difficult to beat something like this. You can pick them up with 100, over 120, 30,000 miles, as long as they've been maintained well. You can pick them up for as little as £2,500, and you're not going to get much fun out of another car that you've just paid £2,500 for. Let's be honest. Something that's usable as a daily car, something that you can even potentially drive to the racetrack, drive it around the track, and then drive it back home. You'll struggle to find something that you can do that for £2,500. EP3s all the way. So yeah guys, I'm going to conclude the video here. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was just a brief video. There's many other EP3 videos out there, but I got offered this EP3 to have a quick little review of, and I'm open to anything hot hatch performance wise. And it was a Civic Type R, so I thought, yes, why not? And so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Follow us on Instagram, performance_lifestyles, and on Facebook again, Performance Lifestyles, obviously. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and click on the bell notification so you know when we've uploaded another video. And hopefully, yes, we will catch you on the next one. So stay safe everybody, as per usual, and we'll catch you on the next video.